maybe next week, maybe this afternoon. I smile in the telegram, act like I care, while I'm moving my bags to a fresh wallet somewhere. One way or another, I'm gonna rug ya. I'm gonna rug ya, rug ya, rug ya. One way or another, I'm taking all the liquidity. You'll be left with nothing but my apology. I post cute memes and say we're going to the moon, while I'm quietly draining the whole damn room. You think I'm your sister, you think I'm your friend, but I'm counting my eggs that this is how it ends. You're sending me love, you're sending me praise, I'm sending your money to my private wallet maze. One way or another, I'm gonna rug ya. I'm gonna rug ya, rug ya, rug ya. One way or another, I'm gone in the night. You wake up tomorrow with nothing but spite. You can post your sad tweets, you can cry in the group. I'll be on a beach somewhere living the life of a dupe. I told you I loved you, I told you we'd win, but business is business now. Where is my Lambo again? One way or another, I'm gonna rug ya. I'm gonna rug ya, rug ya, rug ya. One way or another, it was always the plan. Thanks for the money, see you never again. One way or another, one way or another, I'm gonna rug ya. Why do I still do this every single night? Why do I refresh it like it owes me right? Why do I believe it when it lies to my face? Exhausted, exhausted, same damn place. Sail too soon, miss the moon. Hold too long, write the wrong song again, again. Exhausted, exhausted again. Sell or hold, same old trap, same old cold. Exhausted, exhausted. One more night, one more fight. Exhausted, say goodnight. I stare at the line like it's gonna confess. Green for a heartbeat, then red like a mess. Why do I keep coming back to the same screen? Exhausted, exhausted, living the dream. Is it worth it or just stupid? Is it over or just muted again?
Check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Exhausted.
For those of you out there,
Bags.
Subscribe to Road Dog Crypto now. Like or bear eats you. Better call Road Dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, frogs and squirrels. Well, today is the day that we breached a lot of levels so far. I mean, a couple of levels, right? So I've been watching this guy closely over here at 886. I didn't like how it just kind of skimmed through it, but I was like, okay, we're trying to find some support, high or low, whatever. Never made a higher high. This was the warning area. We talked about that she could be rolling over, and it could come back for a double bottom or break. It broke, came back up. It's giving us all these little signs like, oh no, I'm trying to hold, but I don't know if I will. Continually making lower lows. It wasn't looking good at this point, right? And then we came down, and after the stream last night, because this was what I was trying to focus on last night, I did post something into the lounge just immediately right after the stream over here in the lounge, and I said I'd probably make a video today, and I was going to make a separate video, but I thought, hell, we'll just go live. But there's some strong reasons, there's several strong reasons why this area down here where this yellow line is, and right in this whole little zone is very, very strong support. Now, I'm a little surprised that we're going there soon, but let's look over what we've been looking over. And there was even a point, like if you were watching me last night, we were checking out the total ES and total 3, and is it not over here anymore? Did we erase it? I was looking at this idea here, right? This little possible little. Is that you? Is that what we had? That's not you. That's not you, but you can definitely be something that would be pointing down here. Okay. Well, I think it was right here. It was just a little local. And these are things that you have to wait for confirmations. You can't just draw them out and say, oh, that's what is going to happen. That's going to happen. That's going to bounce right here. That was the place to look for it. And it could have been a bullish thing if we got what we needed to see. But we never got what it started to look like it's trying to, but we never got what we needed to see for a bottoming out over here. So that idea is now invalid. That idea is invalid. There's some other ideas we're looking at. But regardless of this, if I kept saying, there's a possibility of it, man, there was some other thing. Ichimoku cloud looked like it was ready to dump on us, which we can see. That's the one that went out. I said, we're going to have to watch this and see who's the winner is here, because Ichimoku cloud looks like it's about to give us an ass whooping. And, well, we got one today. Not just on Bitcoin, but altcoins and stocks. Remember stocks? We're talking about this area right over here where I had the dotted line. Man, and that's a big thing. Now we're getting the pullback from that, and honestly, it could be as low as this guy down here. So if this capitulates and markets capitulate and tech stock capitulate, it's back in the pattern, back in the trend line for tech stocks, AI bubble, all that good stuff. Having a bad day. All we can say is, yet again, sell in May, walk away. You won again. You won again. Yeah, you won again, selling May. Hey, hand clappies. Why are you not working? Nothing's working on the stream today. Give me just a moment over here. Why? Seriously, why is that not working? There we go. So sell in May, walk away. Yeah. That was the best move pretty much across the board. Across the board over here. This is a Bitcoin market cap, and we did get a little bump up, and that hurts altcoins. And we've been waiting for it to come down, and usually that's a great thing for altcoins. All I can say about altcoins is because this is coming down, that's keeping them from just flat out. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, right? We just need this thing to catch a balance and go higher, and then we can see all the altcoins even have a big nasty dump, just like Bitcoin did today. That's kind of sucky when you think about it. Let me come over to the chat. There's 8 people hanging out with me today. Thank you for being here. We are prepared. We got the hugs ready over here. So, I mean, if you're feeling bad about the market, personally, I'm looking at it as opportunity. I'm looking at it as opportunity. I want to show you off the top of my head, well, not off the top of my head, but at least about 5, maybe 6, maybe some more reasons why this area over here could hold. And I'm going to show you a couple of harmonics that are bigger and they're overlapping. There's a lot of things that are not that bad, but it doesn't mean that this is going to be our very bottom. I hope it is. Because we got an argument for it to be, right? We'll go over all this stuff today. Why I'm looking at this area as being a strong support area where we can get at least, if nothing else, a short-term bounce, but possibly a bigger bounce that could get us back. We got to see. And we'll be going over that. Let me come over to the chat. See you guys. How we doing over here? Wonderful people. Well, so far, I only see 4 comments over here. We don't have very much going on in this chat, do we? We got Duality C in the house. Sin is here. Silver Days. Thank you guys for being here. And thank you guys for commenting, participating in the chat over there. Anybody got any comments or anything about this market and this drop and how brutal it was when we lost the Rising channel? Now, a lot of people do look at this as being a bear flag, and so I mean, you're getting some, and depending on how they want to do it. I mean, you're looking at 41 or even as far as 32,000. So we're getting a lot of bear sentiments, but there are a lot of levels on the way down there that we need to be aware of, right? So we're going to zoom our little hell out, and we're going to zoom out. We're going to come back. We're going to grab a chart check. Right over here. We'll get rid of these things. We don't need that. Let's take that guy out. These are the guys we were looking for to possibly handle. Here's the big dealio. This is the weekly Bitcoin chart. What are the bullish things? Well, the bullish things is in one aspect. Oh, look at you, Elliott. You are such a flip-flopper. Okay, Elliott's on crack. Elliott has totally changed his mind again over here. But there's an argument for bouncing off this 618 over here. Elliott, you need to go to the back room before I slap you upside the head. All right, so we got a big ass structure, and this is one of the more positive things I've been looking for. However you want to count this. There's several different ways, but basically we got our 5 waves in, or 3 humps before we dump them. ABC is what I'm looking for. I think we got our ABC and the possibility to handle it at the 618. That's what I'm looking at. We got Miss Lucy coming in, and if you guys know that, I'm on the 3-day chart over here. That's this little red line coming in, just a little bit below. So, I mean, I'm not expecting a perfect bounce off of that yellow line, but in this zone right through here is a good area. This little purple box I've got, this comes back. Let's go to the Christmas tree candles, and let's go to the weekly. That little box goes from candle body tops here to the little wick that we had up there. This is when we first fell down here. What was it, February or whatever? When the market scared us the first time, February 2nd. That's where it fell down in and tested. And all this time, I would say, we'll probably go back and at least retest that. Because that double bottoms and stuff like that happened. But now let's talk about what happened over here. In the Bitcoin cycles, the previous tops have occurred right where the new cycle bottoms have come in. And until this last cycle, when we dipped down, that's what we were looking for over here too, which it was doing perfect until the FTX unwind took us down to 15,000, right? Dropped us down a little bit more and made everybody hate Bitcoin again. But that's a general rule for every cycle that seems to hold pretty well. It breached it this time briefly. But what I'm trying to say is we are close to bottom. Now, I know a lot of people are looking at the 786 Fibonacci, and I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. It's got a good history of happening, but as we are curving up, we're climbing up those, potentially climbing up the ladder of those pullbacks, right? And that's another good reason why we want to see what happens here at the 618. I do expect something to happen here. I expect us to kind of bounce back up a little bit. Now, how far? I don't know. Cloud is thickening up over here on the weekly. That's a good sign. It's not looking spindly like it wants to dump on us just yet. See this little level spot over there? It's telling us that we could go back to 92,000. Now, I'm not saying that, but that's what the cloud's saying, okay? It says it's viable. I'm thickening up and I'm leveling out over here, and I think you got a chance as soon as we can come back in and touch me, which is not until about October. you know, if I just come over here, just to where we might be coming up and running into it. This is October. That's around our bottoming. I wouldn't expect us to be up in October. Actually, I was kind of expecting us to be down here and testing these levels maybe in October, since we had that nice big run up over here. So we just came up and retested these bottom areas, and then we come back down, and we still got areas over here. If you're a level by level person, you're of course looking at candle bodies over here on the weekly at 54. A lot of people are looking at 54. The golden pocket, the 0.65 Fibonacci, I believe, is coming in at there. Just a little bit lower. I don't use that, but you know, it's helpful for some people. And then we got this wick down here that we bounced off of at 49. Not quite 48,000. But I will say something about this area that makes it very interesting is that there's a support resistance flip right here, where we got up to a resistance, then we came down and tested that for support. So that makes that a very, very soft area. And I believe this is right where our 786 is coming in too, if I'm not mistaken. So I need to color code this one on this line. Red lines mean something totally different to me. We'll just make them a little gray line right there and blow them up real big, because that's a viable area to look for. And look over to the left, and it would be coming down to this area. Here's a little top area, might catch something at 51, 52 if you're looking at those ideas, right? But is it going to happen now? Are we going to get a little relief over the weekend or going into next week? And I'm thinking, you know, it's very feasible that we could. Whether we come down to 58 now or not, I would think that we're probably headed there. Just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. We're so close now. I'd be disappointed if we didn't. I would still be, if we bounced from here and went back up a little bit, and this was just, you know, one of those little Friday fake out thingies that they want to do, and turn us around over the weekend and pump us back up to 68,000 or something crazy that you know they can do. You know that's not crazy for Bitcoin or crypto. I would be pissed, and I would still always be looking over my shoulder for 58. I'd rather just go ahead and hit it now. But you can see we're finding support in this little zone here, just based on what we had for our tops last cycle over here. And also this little confusion area. When we came up in 2024, that's what we were fighting against, our tops from last cycle. And it looked like we weren't going to make it, and that was, a lot of people were calling this as the top for the cycle. Then it was crazy. We hadn't even met the halving yet. And they're saying that's all. I mean, you get lots of different ideas over here in crypto, right? All right, so we got. I'm going to go ahead and take this purple line off. He is invalid right now, and I'm trying to show you the weekly 200 moving average right here. We're below it. We're below it. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It was never good to close a candle below it. However, in Bitcoin's history, we are known to go below it, right? We are known to go below it. So let's examine some of these ideas, right? This is one area where we came down and touched it. This was in December of 2018, and we got a nice little bounce off of it, right? And a retest of the 200 moving average on the weekly. And then from there, when Bitcoin was $3,000, oh man, don't you wish you'd stocked up over there? We ran up to $13,000. That was pretty gosh darn impressive right there. And then we came all the way back down, of course, with COVID, and that was a second chance, but a lot of people were too scared and just thinking the world is about ready to end and everybody's not trying to die, because a lot of people were. We went below it there too on a big wick, kind of similar to what we got going on today. Very similar to what we got going on today. Look, we went from 10,000 down to 3,000. What was the percentage on that? We fell 62% over a period of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. 62% over a period of 5 weeks. That's crazy, Doc. What did we do here over a period of 4 weeks? From 8 to 2,000. Well, we've only fell 30% right now. What would a 60% be? Well, that would make the bears happy down here. All right, so let me go back to the okay, well, before I go back to the regular candles, here is what we're doing. Okay, so here is one reason why I'm going to go for the first one. I should probably number them over here. All right, I'm going to number them. Let's make this make this interesting over here. Number one reason why 58,000 could hold. You would have bullish. You would have bullish RSI divergence. I should probably do some. Why? 58K can hold. All right, number one, you got some bullish RSI divergence that is now forming, and that's what we've been talking about for several, I don't know, a month, maybe several weeks anyway. And in fact, even on this chart, I've got a little trend line just drawn out to illustrate it. Now that we got a candle body that can close down here, and like I said, we can probably still come on down and touch this. I would prefer us to actually hit, what is that, 57.9, 58. So right in this area, I'd prefer us to bounce off of this guy. If we do, we got bullish divergence forming over here on a fib level, a major ass fib level. That's cool. All right. Because as those candle bodies are closing down, the RSI is moving to the upside. Signal line is also still moving to the upside. It's leveling out a little bit. That's an interesting formation. So I would expect a bounce over here. Now, how far it bounces, we got to wait and see. There's some hopeful ideas that we can come up for a higher high, and it can do that. And that would piss a lot of people off. Especially people who got caught shorting the bottom down here. This is the worst place to short. Best place, again, is at any of these peaks that we were at. Or any trend lines that were lost from the top, right? I mean, just in retrospect and hindsight, that's where you learn your best lessons right there to try to apply next time you see them. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting right there. Well, I didn't anticipate this one, but you got two weekly trend line support. Possible, right? You got to treat these all things with possibilities, but these are some reasons. I should probably put this in a different color. All right, so we're looking at that. I was not even paying attention to that, to be honest with you. I was not paying attention to that. All right, so that's coming in here too. So it can still come down and ride the leg and all that other stuff over under thing. But that's another reason why we can get a bounce over here. Why it would put a damper on it falling straight down, because it'd have to break through that trend line. If it did, I would take that as a very bearish sign. That would be bearish. All right, so what's some other reasons why? I can show you some bad reasons too. I mean, the weekly indicators make it look like we still got some momentum to the downside. Will it play out sideways? It can. It can still do that, or will we continue to drop? And that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Okay. Now I want to go over. Let me get off these candles. Now I want to go over some harmonic reasons. All right. So our third reason is 58K is major 618. That is one of those little magical Fibonacci areas that catches a lot of traction over here. This yellow line is the 618 Fibonacci. From the very bottom to the very top, is right there. There we are. 57,800 is what I'm getting on this particular chart for how I got it drawn. Perfect place to bounce. It's bounced in this area before, but even so, you see that we got some wickages, and you know there can be a little bit of give and take, but we're looking for basically $58,000 to see something. If we wick down there, we can reclaim that 200 moving average and close the candle above the 200 moving average, which right now is currently coming in at $6,106. So we're just $800 below the 200 moving average, right? Now, some other things to entertain, like we a lot of times we do bounce off of it. Sometimes we go below it and come back when we get these big dumps, like the COVID one, which is kind of reminds us it kind of feels like what's going on right now with as big of a strong of a dump that they had over there, right? All right, so a lot of people are talking about we always go back to the 786. We always go back to the 786. We don't always go back to the 786. The earlier times we were going back to the 886. Earlier times we were going back to the 886 fib retracement. And let's just do a little backtracking over here. Swing lows to swing highs. And depending on how you do this, but I'm going from the very bottoms over here. You can see we breached the 786 over here even to get to touch that 200, the 200 one over that idea. If you're going from this guy, which now you can fit this to, I mean, that's kind of the impulse move from where we leveled off here. Is that the best way to do this? I mean, it worked. It was cool. We got some responses out of here, but going from the very bottoms, my personal opinion, is the best way to kind of make sure you're getting everything over here. Then we had this guy. That one did come back to an 886, right? 886s are great turnaround places, and that's one of the reasons why we had our eye on the 886. That amongst our stuff. Now, in the harmonic series of things, in the harmonic trading things, you see, we came back to the 786 level holding it, but even we did lose it over here during the FTX stuff. I think that happened in November. We just fell like a rock. After thinking we almost had it here at 18,000, man, 18,000, it drops like a rock, and then everybody's calling for 3,000. I mean, there's always the bear flags to the downside. Even some of your popular morning gurus over here were bear flagging it down to the downside to crazy prices. They don't admit that now. Now they say they called the bottom, but at that time, they were not. I was paying attention. It was January before we started doing anything good right here, right? The 1st of January. I remember putting out a video being bullish while they were declaring their bearishness, and then 2 days later they changed their mind because, well, 2 days later we were out of trouble. All right. So that was a 786. Now, why was that one a 786? Now, I'm going to get into harmonics over here. And I understand it's not for everybody, but it is a valid system. And a lot of our fib stuff is tied into the harmonics. But we go from high to low. We got a nice little 618 pullback. Then we went up. That's a Cipher pattern. Okay. So we get a higher high off of a 618 bounce. That gives us, it's actually a rare pattern. And it's a reversal pattern. And it's not going to let me draw it. Let's try it one more time. And those are the targets. Now, these are not... The way that you play these is not to say, oh, that's what it's going to do. No, you have to wait and verify things. But if it does verify at these levels, then you got it. You got something that's worth playing. But you got to see it verified. And that's the same thing we did with Zcash. It's the same thing we're doing with some other things over here. And we've seen some good luck out of them. Still waiting on XRP to do its little thing. Might have to take another look at that one with what we got going on over here. But 786 retracement on that one. Okay. Now, this kind of leads into what I'm going to go over now, right? I'm going to... Should I take this guy off? Take this guy off? Let's take this guy off so it's not confusing. All right. So we're going to look at some harmonic ideas right now. This is going to be some of the other reasons as to why. All right. So you've got this one. This one's a little weaker, but this one is viable. Oh, shoot. Are you not going to draw for me? I need a new mouse. We went up. We came down to about a 382. That makes this either a bat or a crab. We're looking at crab. All right. This little guy, it's got some places that it can come down to. All right. One of them, if we want to go full on, is the 1618 down here. So that's still open. That's at 45, 46. So you can make an argument for that. We can watch that. The other one, the normal ones are 127, and that's basically about right where we are right now. That is where we are right now. All right, so this could be in play. That could be in play. That's a deep. That one's kind of. Oh, it's not. That's more of an alt bat. Okay, so we got that idea. Here's another one. This one's a little bit more reasonable, right? A little bit more reasonable. From here to here. Way come up to here to here. And we're looking at 886 area. It's coming in right here, right around the same place, right there at 50, about 56, 55. All right, so we're going to kind of make this a little easier. We're going to go from the very bottom here, 49. We're going to pull up to A, and it's the 886 from this particular one right here. All right. So this is a bullish pattern right here that's telling us to watch what happens in these areas over here. All right. So this is a you don't qualify as a cipher, do you? I believe you have to. Okay. It gets a little confusing on some of these. Well, if you go by the tool rules for what they call these guys and things like that. But there's only basically two ones that you look at if you're looking for a higher high, and that is going to be your cipher patterns, like the one we just saw from last cycle with Bitcoin, where it had that higher high. Or you're going to have a shark pattern. So this is one's qualifying as a potential shark. And we're looking for, yeah, there is another idea of the 113 on this one if it goes deeper. Now that is one that could take us down here to 38 or 39. So we are finding some confluence for some of these ideas, right? That is the deep one. Oh crap, can I not get that? Can I get you? But our first place would be this 886 level, which is coming in just a little bit below. That's about 55, okay? So we got a lot of stuff saying that right here in this area, right through here, we got a lot of little support areas that could give us some reversal, all right? So I just want to point that out. Now, some of the other thing, okay, so let's come back to our thing. Let's add another reason. Okay, so we got we're going to put possible. So there's a possible bullish shark, and that's 4 of them. Now the other thing, I want to come to a different chart over here where maybe it was kind of cleaned up a little bit. Too much to wish for, isn't it? We got a lot of the same things over here. Do I have one that does, here, are you kind of, we're going to sacrifice this chart. You don't have anything going on. All right. This guy right here is our trend line. Do you see that? From here to these candle bodies to right where we are right now. Oh shoot, I need to keep my thing over here. We don't have our list. I need to copy it? I need to copy it over here. Or did we lose it? Here we go. Can we copy this? Now where's that nice clean chart? We'll put it over here. All right, so now personally, I think this is one of the biggest reasons to look. 5 major trend tested. So the major trend line is being tested right now. This is our major cycle trend line. Now I gotta say, if we lose this, if we do lose this and close candles below this, you're going to see me be very bearish on Bitcoin and crypto altogether. And not that I'm immediately trying to look for a short, but you know, I'm just not going to be gung-ho on buying Bitcoin or do much of it in Bitcoin, other than making a plan for when we do confirm a bottom, if we do that. Because to me, breaking this big cycle trend line, this goes into what we were talking about with the however you want to do it, whether this is our 3, 4, 5 ABC. This is why I'm looking at this as being an ABC correction area. We got the major weekly 200 moving average. You got your major weekly trend line that kicked it all off from our bottom at 1550 and this bottom at 25. We are testing that trend line and been waiting. And I was honestly, if you remember back in February when we were coming down to it, I was like, I was waiting for us to maybe hit that line to see how we do. And we didn't do it and didn't hit the 200 moving average. And if you remember, and I kept talking about it for a long time, I'm not, that doesn't settle well. Like I think that means that we're probably coming back here again, as sucky as it is. And so it's just been a long wait for us to get back down there. And eventually the market got bullish again. Sometimes they got a little overly bullish. But for me, that's one of the major things, because I'm a big trend line kind of guy. Big major thing to look at right here, right there on the weekly. So we got that. That's 5 reasons already. I'm going to add another one over here, and that has to do with our moving averages. Now we already mentioned did we already mention 200 moving average support? We didn't. Okay. 6. 200 MA test for support. Now, during the cycles, we normally do end up losing it. But a lot of times during this month and the drop in June, if we're at the 200, it usually kind of respects it. Sometimes we even get a bounce back. I have an argument for why we might get a bounce here. We might find support in June and come back up maybe next month or something like that. My reasoning is that we got, and I think this is one of our little Easter egg saving graces over here. Do you see this 9 moving average? It's bullishly crossed the 200. That's on our side. That is on our side. Because had it been under it and rolling over underneath it, man, I'd probably be calling out 38,000 today too, just like a lot of other people. But that's telling me we got a little hitch down here that we can catch on these support levels. So we're going to put that one in at 9 MA weekly. Let me put this on here. It's got to be weekly. All right, so number 7 is weekly bullish cross of a 9 MA over 21. And what that can do is get us back up to those areas to test it. That can give us a bounce from these areas. So there's 7 reasons why this area over here can hold its support. But ideally, I would want to see this trend line not even be breached. I don't even want to see a wick go below it, honestly. I am hoping to gosh that our bottom right here at 59 was at 200 right now. Oh, it's we're at 60,000 right now. We may be trying to bounce on some of the smaller time frames. But here on the weekly, that is why. Now we could go over some bearish reasons too, and I'll probably list them out. I want to change the font size on this. Make it. Can we see that? Is that good? I'm putting it over here. So I want to put okay. So here our moving averages are. This is 360. This is 200. This is 100. This is 50. They're still in good order. We see this happen a lot of times, and we can come back over here and come back up and try to see if we can get some bullish crosses of these smaller ones over the 150. Hopefully before this 50 crosses bearishly over that 100. Now we're on the weekly. That could take a couple of weeks for that to happen, if it's going to happen. And that would involve us breaking the 200 moving average. We'll probably see that break before we see this cross. But after that crosses, then that's even more downward push. All right. But right now there is a very strong. Oh, did we do? Let's do number 8. Number 8. Possible. We talked about it, but I didn't write it down. Possible Elliott Wave ABC correction completion or complete correction support, if that makes sense. All right, so and what that was from our high over here, depending on how they want to do it. I can see why you would have counted that different now, Elliott, because this was a higher high. Now I'm looking personally for ABC. Elliott, I see the little discrepancy that he was talking about earlier. That would be the 5 wave, so it would be well, you can count from here, ABC. That would still work from that low. Yeah, 5 ABC. I would look at it that way. I believe. However, now if you flip on your Elliott Wave indicator, I mean, it's worth noting that there are some possible. He's looking at it a little. You're counting it too. You're counting this whole thing as an A. See, I think this is an ABC. You're wanting to group them all together, and that can happen. It can happen. It can. It would suck, but yeah, that's kind of what you're looking at right there. That's an AB equals CD by harmonic standards. I wouldn't be looking for I would look at the possibility of it, but it's kind of missing the point that the thing that equals out for your bear flag idea. You've also got that. And if you see what we did here, just those measure moves alone right there, those ratios fall right in line with what Elliott's looking at there too. So we got some overlaps in what I do and what Elliott sees. There's some overlap over there. I just do it a different way. Or display it, show it a different way, right? So that's possible, but we've also got that nice trend line, which is trend lines are very important, right? We're testing it. So I don't know if we're going to drop below it or not, just like you don't know what Bitcoin's going to do in the next 10 minutes either. But all the chances are that we're going to find some support here. Now, how long that support holds? I don't know. It's usually pretty good. When it happens, right? So why $58,000 area can hold, and there are wiggle rooms. Let's put it down to 56 or somewhere through that, but I hope we don't. There's that gives us the bullish RSI with candle bodies closes. Now it does it only on the regular candles. I do not have this on my Hikanashi. So I wouldn't be seeing it over there, but it is here. If we can close over here, and we got to close today or this week. Oh man, that would be this week. Are we going to hang down here? We just got to make a lower candle body close than what we got over here, and we got our divergence in. Preferably right here on that $61,800 area where that 200 moving average is coming in. That would be ideal. Now today is Friday. We're heading into the weekend after a Friday dump. Okay. This can go one of two ways. We either go sideways Saturday usually. You can usually count on that. It can do whatever it wants to. And then it may start pumping. We may start see the support coming in over the weekend. And then coming into the next week, they start pumping us up and like, oh, we just got you again. That's all. We were just flushing this out. It could be. Or we have seen very rare occasions where we could start dumping on a Friday, go a little bit sideways on the weekend, but then we still start dumping again on Sunday. And that would suck. All right. I do not know which one it will do, but I see a lot of support here that supports that maybe we might get the first scenario where we pump back up. Again, the weekly 9 is above the 21. Now it's curving down now. That's not great, but it has not crossed, and it's going to take a lot for it to cross. Usually what I would see here is that we get some sideways over here, some sideways consolidation probably is what we're looking at for this weekend through here, where it's boring and nobody knows, and we're just waiting to see if this trend line is going to hold or this level is going to hold. I don't know. Because that's where they like to park us on the weekends a lot of times, right? All right, so this is what I got on the weekly. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Or do you see it as being hopeful? Or do you think, hell no, we're just going to pass on through. Screw this, I'm done. But that's a strong argument. That trend line is one of my strongest arguments I've got to make over here. And been waiting for the past 6 months for us to see how we're going to react to it, or if we're going to come down there at all. Because we didn't have to. It would have been bullish if we were curving, which we had the potential to do, but now we just negated that idea, right? But it doesn't mean that we can't just bounce up here. What are we listening to over here? Let me come over to the chat and see what you guys are saying. Crypto Squid's in the house over here. Silver Days, all you guys. Damian wins. Everybody got the blues and don't want to comment. That's understandable. That's understandable. Sin says, I'm hyped. DCA time. Sin knows. Yes. Yes. DCA time. So I don't know. I put it over into the group in the lounge area. I mentioned it here last night too. Over these next 6 to 8 months. Yeah, I'm getting my money ready. Be moving it over to. It's getting tricky because I noticed that PayPal. I was trying to move some over today. But sometimes I use PayPal. Now they want my driver's license. Now I'm like, wait a minute. Now this is getting too weird because I don't want the address I send it to be tracked by you. So I may have to find a different method. I just don't like that. I don't like that. PayPal knows who the hell I am. Why do I need to send them my driver's license? I think I already had to do that to start that account. But for me to move some crypto over now, which I could do a few weeks ago, but now I've got to suddenly. Maybe I reached the limit. I don't know. I don't know what the deals are over there. But I can't move Pi USD over to my Solana wallet without doing some kind of license there. Maybe I'll have to figure out some kind of. I'll never move it to a wallet I've already got something in. I will move it to a brand new, fresh wallet. Send it on a rabbit trail before it gets to where I want it to go. I don't know. Make them work for it. Or maybe just find a whole different way. Put money over there. Bullish on Parade says, yo, yo, yo. Oh, Javier says, yo, yo, yo. It got translated into whatever that is. Bullish on Parade says, yo, Dawg, I can't see enough good things about your channel to people. TA is great without actually meeting you. I think you're an amazing person. Thought you just needed to hear that today. Thank you for that, because sometimes I do get discouraged over here. And I do believe in keeping positive. Sometimes I wonder, am I too hard on other people? But I see a lot of people. I see what some people are being taught about pattern trading. And I used to do the same things, but I found better ways, and also found out that some of that stuff trying to force patterns doesn't work. So sometimes you'll hear me say some things, right? But I try to keep it positive, and I'm just trying to share what I've learned. And if you've been watching my channels for the last 4 years, we've added and added and added as I learned different techniques. The Harmonics was a recent addition. I remember when I first started the channel, I was big on fibs, but I didn't have it figured out. I knew the 1272 was a magical one, and that one just seemed to do those little lower lows and lower highs. Get it? And I couldn't explain why, but I had digging and digging and digging. I learned and everything, and I just share my knowledge with you guys as we do it. All you gotta do is ask questions and stuff, though. But I appreciate that. Sometimes I do need to hear that because I don't know. When you look and see how the channel has not grown over the past 4 years, it makes you wonder, well, do I need to stay here? Is this like, a failed attempt? Should just leave it for somebody else? I don't know. David Geff says, you're a new sub and check out Road Dawg Crypto Music TV channels. Oh, we do have some things other than just TA and stuff. The music, been doing the music for about 1.5 years now. Crypto themed music's all I do. Trading music, try to make it radio worthy. There's parody songs, there's originals. And I've released a lot onto streaming services, but I stopped doing that a few months ago, and I put Defcoin Records over here. So I'm going to let it screen. This be my screener. So if you guys like the music, want to hear some of the music, there is Defcoin Records over here, and then we also got Crypto Music TV, another channel, where we experimented with a crypto video contest and went 3 weeks with it. And I can't see in putting the hours and hours and hours into making a new episode until I see the views increase from 25 views. So, yeah, Squirrely Dave's Comedy Hour and all this stuff, this is what we were trying. I'd like to see this channel succeed, but I've got a feeling this one's probably going to be fading out. Hopefully this one will get some traction over here. It's going to be hard to grow this one, but this one's more just to share music, right? Just to share the music. And if some of you guys ask if you could use it on your streams or something, yeah, you can. Yeah, I'm not going to bitch about it. I want this music to get out and hear people to hear it. That's why I'm putting it out. I'm going to say, you owe me money. You're copyright. That's my channel. I'm not doing that. I ain't doing that. When they go to the streaming service, they can figure out all that stuff there. But well, over here, yeah, it's available. Just asked you that you give credit for Road Dog and where you found it. All right, so let me come back to the chat over here. Thank you, Rogue. You're sending jewels and sending love, and I appreciate that, Rogue. Thank you for that. Loading hearts. I'm trying to give you claps, but Sean's got this button all sticky. I'm trying to highlight it, but it's showing up right here and right here. Thank you. We are 100% crowd. Brave Expanse, is that you? Brave Expanse, my man. Oh, man. Brave Expanse, if I'm not mistaken, you gave me the biggest super chat ever, and I've got it on our other show, or I had it over there. Brave Expanse, if I'm not mistaken, that was it, right? $500 super chat, right? Sure. Pretty sure. Thank you. Well, that helped out a lot. Haven says, bought more UPXI at 93 cents today. It's my ladies. Haven says, I longed hype at 58.3, 10x. Let's go. Yeah, haven't even looked at hype today. Can we bring Jenny back? Can we bring Jenny back? We can bring Jenny back. Let me see who we got right here. There's Jenny right there. We got Miss Jenny back over here. ETH looks like reversals on the lower time frames. You know what? Ethereum's worth about 1,500 right now. I'm gonna take a look at that. I would like to take a look at Solana. I mean, did I mention my plan? I was trying to get over to mention my plan because Sin was talking about DCA time, and I'm telling you, I mean, we don't know. We never know. These are 8 reasons why it can hold, and I think I got a few other reasons I can put over here why this level can hold and hopefully should. And like I said, man, losing this trend line here is going to make me lose faith in Bitcoin, and it will change my DCA strategy over the next 4 months, and I will be a lot slower to do it and save a considerable amount until we actually confirm bottom and start making higher lows to take the rest of it in. So this is a great time to be making plans for the bull market, the next cycle. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not talking about altcoins. I'm talking about Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has been the clear winner. It outperformed all the altcoins. Right now, some of the altcoins are outperforming it because Bitcoin's dropping like a rock, and they haven't dropped quite yet. But my plan, and even if we do come back to a 618, now we can make an argument for why we hit a 786 retracement here harmonically. I can make an argument there. I don't have as good of an argument over here. Let me see if we got any kind of bigger harmonic idea from here. 3. Okay, there is. But we're looking for 886. Wow. All right, and again, when just because I draw these things out does not mean that that's what it's going to do. It's an idea that possibly could happen, right? Possibly could happen. I personally can't see us going to 27,000, but if we did, I got to ask myself, what would the narrative be? Everybody be giving up on Bitcoin. I think it'd be hard to get traction on Bitcoin again, honestly, if we break this trend line. I think my personal opinion is breaking this trend line is going to make everybody doubt Bitcoin again. It's going to be hard for it to gain traction again wherever it bottoms out. I mean, it might take it a year and a half, 2 years before people start thinking, oh, maybe I'll look at Bitcoin again. It kind of sucked. We put all of our treasury corporation in there and we got ripped and we thought that was a horrible idea. We're never touching Bitcoin ever again. I mean, think about the institutions coming in, the ETFs and all that, and then to find it down at 23,000. I mean, if that's, I'm not saying it's impossible. I mean, Elliott thinks it's going to happen. Remember Elliott? He's like, I think you can go even lower. What's there is. That's one. We getting in 113 territory. Took us all the way back to 3,300. And that's, see, we're getting into ridiculous ideas, I personally think. But there is an idea here that could be. But again, we always look at the trend lines. Whenever we draw these guys, we usually have a trend line. If it breaks, we'll look for it. I can't imagine that. I really can't imagine that. I really can't. with all the momentum that we got good, I mean, at most I'd say if we lose the 200, testing the 360, I wish I had, the 360 didn't show up on the weekly chart until about March of 24. So it's just mathematically impossible to do on this chart. We can find one that goes back to 2009, we'll probably get our two. If we find an old chart, we can probably find the 360. I wonder if we can do that. Bitstamp would be a good place. Is Bitstamp over here? Let's look up Bitstamp. Is this Bitstamp? How about you against Tether? That sounds good. How far do you go back? Back when it was 30? Alright, let's try this again. Bitstamp. Or, let's just try it against the dollar. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Is that the same chart we're on? Alright. No, this was this what are we doing here? Looks like the same thing. But now we got the 360 moving average. All right, let's back test the 360 moving average. Is it important? Okay, so on this chart, we can see it came in through here. 200 held. We lost the 200. Didn't quite touch it. Did not quite touch it. X point needs to come up over here. We didn't quite touch it on the last time either. When we came down here. Oh, wait a minute. You should pay. We didn't quite touch it. We became through 300 moving average, maybe a little bit more sharper on that. But that level's coming in right here about 46. So your 300 moving average. You want to try the 300? I got 360 and I have reasons for that, but let's type into 300 and see what that looks like. Just to back test the idea. That was too much. It did good over here. Actually, it hit perfect right there, the 300 moving average. Yeah, it nailed it right there. But it didn't catch it over here, right? In our back testing. Let me change that back. Can I just rewind it to change it back? Nope. Well, I got to change that real quick. I don't want it to be 300. I want mine to be 360. There we go. 360. Short, smaller time frames. My back testing, it's relevant. All right. So on the weekly, are you breaching our trend line right now? It's breaching it on this particular chart. So we got some variations over here. There we went down to 59. We're still below it technically over here. We're below our trend line over here on the smaller time frame. Which other place was I on? This one over here is not. So you're going to get some variations depending. I got some bodies to the wick there. Did I skip the wick? I think I skipped the wick over here, and that's why we're below it, right? So that would me going to the wick would give us all the little wiggle room that we can get over here. Okay. I'm just lining it up to that little wick there from the candle body. And if I do that, we're right at it. We haven't breached it yet. So that's what I'm going with for this trend line here. Let me make that a big old fat juicy trend line. I want to make it a big old red line or green line. It should be green, I guess, for support. So the big ass green line is what I'm looking for support, and it can breach down. We can see it wick through. I'd hope it doesn't. We could see 55. We could see 54. There's harmonic ideas are saying that we could be doing that, but they also say if we do bounce over here, look for bottoming patterns, right? And also with these guys, there's a chance to even come right back down here. Maybe that's October. Maybe we bounce. We come back down in October, double bottom here, and we're good. That could be the bear situation we're looking at. And that trend line's throwing me off. I gotta make it white. Sorry, flip-flopping over here. So, oh, that's the old ones. Where's the new one? This one. All right, so reasons why $58,000 area can hold. One, on our regular candles, it's given us bullish RSI divergence. And that's where on the candle bodies, you can draw a trend line and it goes down. On the RSI, it's going up. Now, let's refine this idea just a little bit and see if we're at a place that we can bounce. We are. Possible it can come down to do its little 886. But right now, we are at a place where we can bounce and come back up at least to our signal line to test that. Sometimes we go above it. So RSI is at a place to bounce. I want to see that. Maybe we'll start seeing it on smaller time frames. That could be a good sign, right? The one thing that I am kind of concerned about is that stochastics still have a ways to go on the weekly. We just now got into the red on the weekly, and momentum wave has a way to go. So I want to point out we're concerned about that, and how that plays out depends a lot on what happens here on the shorter term time frames. So we catch some traction here, that can take some of that, can use up some of that momentum to the downside in sideways action. And because we got the 9 over the 21, I'm more inclined to be looking for that. Okay. However, we close a candle. If I start seeing 4-hour candles close below my trend line over here, I'm going to assume that we're starting to entertain the idea of these lower guys, right? 360 around 45, 48,000, right? So, I mean, we're at a warning stop, but we're also at a possible place that after as big of a flush out as we had here, coming back and scaring people, trying to get stop losses, there might be a little short squeeze, trying to get any stops below here, right, with your liquidity. I haven't looked at a heat map. I don't usually use them, but I know a lot of people do, and we can even take a look at that and see what that has for extra feedback there. But I personally see a lot of reasons why we can bounce over here, and I'm hoping the hell that we do, because I do not want to see that trend line break. Now, can that trend line break and we be okay? It can, and it has before. Okay? Kinda. Depends on how you want to look at it. If we were drawing this trend line, it did not. If we were drawing this one, it did not, but that's not the greatest. Or is it? Wait a minute. We're going from bodies to, okay, from wicks to bodies. You actually held. You actually held. I'm sorry. I was thinking that we actually breached a trend line. I think the way that I had one drew before that we did. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Wicks to bodies to these two touches. We never did break that trend line. And that was good, and that's right where we bounced. I would love to see us hold this trend line. I would love to see us hold this trend line. All right, so how do we know if we're going to do it? But, okay, bullish divergence RSI, weekly trend line support, 58K is a major 618 Fibonacci, which for some reason is not showing up over here. That being from swing low to swing high. That's right where we are, the big old yellow line, which if you look at it, that's equivalent to our first cycle top right over there. That's another reason. I guess we can even add that over here. 9. Retesting. Last cycle's high. Retesting last cycle was high. So 9 reasons. Bullish RSI divergence, weekly trend line support, 58K 618 level, major trend line test. That's a big one for me. 200 weekly moving average test. That's also a big one for me. Weekly bullish cross at 9 over the 21 moving average tells me that we can at least come up a little bit and bounce, whether there's a dead cat bounce or not. And a possible Elliott Wave ABC correction at the 618 to bounce from there. And we are retesting the last cycle's high area over here. Those are my 9, and I might be able to squeeze a 10th one in here for why that this trend line and this yellow line and that moving average can hold support. And that. All right, so the bearish signs we got to look out for is that there's still some downward momentum that could be coming into play, especially if we end up seeing a crossover here on the moving average. If it crosses the 0 line here, these lines cross, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good. We got our first warning signal here. Now, I'm hoping that this is not the little trigger wave that can push us down, but we also don't have momentum. We could also get a trigger wave here, and what that is, do you see how this is just a little hump right here, and you got these bigger humps? That could be a trigger wave that could send us down. But we got these big humps here. If we come down here and do a smaller little hump, I mean, if we catch somewhere 57, 58,000, something like that, if we happen to do that, or even just turn around here, we can get that trigger wave and we can get a nice bump up there too. The only thing that's making me look at this sideways is, of course, the momentum stochastics. Look like they could still come down a bit, right? And the money flow turning into the red. So there are some warning signs here. So we're not all just, he said it's going to turn around. No. I mean, you could look at this that the party might just be getting started to the downside. That's why it's important to see how we react over here over this weekend and everything. And currently, what the hell is this? Currently, like I say, on the 4-hour, the Ichimoku cloud still looks pissed off as all hell. I'm not seeing any sign here that she's ready to give us any relief. And I hate that. And it just looks as volume keeps coming down. I mean, as price keeps coming down, volume keeps going up. So this is a very strong sell-off we got. Now, I'm hearing rumors that we are getting some buy-ins recently on the ETFs. And maybe people were saying, hey, man, Bitcoin's down cheap enough. I'm going to go in. Now, here on the 4-hour, the bullish things is that we still got some ribbon crossings over here. I've never seen them on the 4-hour roll over so quick. Now, maybe on a 1 minute or something like that, a 10-second chart, definitely I can see these things happening. It is possible, but normally you don't see that play out on the bigger time frames. You see us kind of come back up to these areas. So I'm really looking, paying close attention to the smaller time frames now to see what we can get. When you look at RSI on the 4-hour, I mean, look at it. Where have you ever seen it this deep? It went down to 6. Has it ever been to 6 on the 4-hour? Has it ever? I think that we're looking at, almost some new RSI levels. Let's just go back to some of the lowest ones it's ever been and draw a line there where we got bounces. All right. Went down a little bit lower here in November of 18, in May of 22, and then again in June of 22. Pay attention to the June. This was another June low. I want to look at June lows because a lot of times we do get a June and low. Now, you can see that for yourself. And then also Ben Cowan is one that's been talking about that too lately. And Ben Cowan's a good person to listen to and follow. I don't see him as much, but I did recently see him and he made a very good point with that. I give him credit where credit's due. This was our February low. And then now this is could be a June low happening here. But we are in areas of the RSI. It's at 12, people. When it crosses the 30% threshold, that's your buy signal. That's the official buy signal. That's what bots are programmed to do, and just how the RSI indicator works. That's when you get in bullish territory. But when you zoom out here, you see that we're deep in the red here on the daily. That's usually good. Where is our stochastics right now? They're also at the bottom. That's one thing that I look at. I especially look at this on the weekly. When we're not there on the weekly. But when you get buried stochastics and buried RSI down here, and then they both start flipping up, that's usually a buy signal. All right, so that's one thing to look at. The only thing I don't like about this is that money flow is just now going into the red as we come down here. The lowest that this has ever been. I mean, this can't go any lower. Momentum is at 97%, negative 97%. It can't go lower than 100. We're about bottomed out on momentum. This is one of the biggest drops ever. And every time that we've done this on the daily, we've bounced back. This is our biggest one, since May of 22. May of 2022, we came down here. I thought I would just did that. March of 2025, May of 22, we were definitely down here. And then November of 2018, we were down here. And then what happened after that? Well, let's go take a look and see what happened at May of 22. Let's put a little line right there. What happened after that? Oh, God. She went on down. Oh, that's not the greatest example, is it? That is not the greatest example. May of 2022, when we were down there and it started coming back up, we still kept coming down. That's why we try to do this, I guess, people. Wait a minute, did I get you on the bottom there? It was here. It was here. I'm sorry. It was right there where we touched. Let me go back up and just double check. Yeah, right there. All right. How did I get off on that? Was it the daily I was looking at? The weekly. Daily, right? Daily we bottom touch, but okay, so that makes more sense. And we got a little traction, but then we ended up dropping down to 18,000 after that, right? So one of the things that you can learn from this is that when we do start coming up, if we're not getting much traction, we're not getting that much move on the upside, we're getting more responses to the down moves, right? We're getting stronger moves to the down and smaller moves to the upside. That still means we're in a bear trend. We want to see if we start seeing our indicators climb up, like stochastic starting to climb back up, passing 60 for 50% or whatever, 60%, trying to go up to 100. If we find them topping out and we haven't made that much in price, that is not a good sign. That means that we're probably going to get something happening, more downside action there. So that's something to keep in mind there. So if we do bounce here, that's something we want to pay attention to. And the stochastics start coming back up, and we find ourselves, we're just you know, we're only here at 63,000. Stochastics are almost at the top. We might be getting ourselves set up for something a little bit more disappointment there. Right now, it's too early to tell. 17 people hanging out with the turkey. Turkey's just sitting here waiting for a bounce. Don't see anything telling me on Ichimoku wise that we're good enough to go with. Not on the 4 hour. Not even really on the 1 hour. I'm still not liking you. We are getting a test of this trend line. Thank gosh. We've not yet dropped down to our 618, which I still think that we will. I think we got a good chance to wick down there. If nothing else, I hope it's just a wick and we bounce back and reclaim the trend line. That's what I want to see. Don't always get what you want. Sometimes you get what you need, according to Rolling Stones. But hey, we got to see it to believe it, right? Come down to our little tiny 6 minute and look, we're trying to roll over. Okay, still no good signs on the Ichimoku cloud that I'm looking for yet. Little sliver of green trying to happen over there. Okay, there's a little slight hopefulness, but we ain't got it yet. Have not made any higher highs yet, so we are still in trouble. Possibility. I mean, we could still have some more downside. We're not trying to rule that out. I'm just looking for some support over here and hoping to God that we get some possible breakout on this steep trend line, telling us that maybe we can go up to 62.8 through there. Then we got to see, but we're not making a higher high. That could be our little ticket to come back down here. Maybe by tonight's stream, when I come on at 10:30 or 10 o'clock tonight, maybe we'll be down here. I don't know, but I would feel better. Now, I know it breaks my trend line, and I don't want that to happen. I would feel better if we get a wick down here, bounce back up, and then recover here. If I had my dream situation to look for, that's what I'd be looking for. And then maybe we do a little recovery and then see what happens between now and October when we're looking for the real bottoming areas. All right. But I wanted to come on here because the general sense of things, the general sentiment is, and when we start dropping on these red days, everybody's ready to just sell everything and start shorting at these possible support areas. And that could be one of the worst decisions that you ever make. So when we get in these situations, I mean, unless you're in trouble being liquidated because you're using leverage, you know, I mean, you got to do what you need to do, protect your accounts and stuff. But this is a tricky area. I mean, if you try to go long here, you might get lucky. You can at least control your risk management pretty good if you're catching these bottoms. If you're catching it too late, then they can chew you up in this, right? This is still a good place to get chewed up, trying to figure out where we're going to bounce. And that's why the OGs say it's best just to chill out and wait for your confirmations. And then we go with the trend. That's the smart advice. That's not what our degens want to hear, because we want to try to get that bottom or get that one. Oh, I think it's going to bounce here. Yeah, let's get that entry. And those are usually the habits that help us keep our accounts at losses or in the red. It does. It feels fun at the time. It's entertaining. But it can lead to a lot of chop. What are you guys planning on doing? Do you have a DCA plan? Do you have something to do over the next few months? What are you planning on doing? Personally, I'm planning on focusing mostly on Bitcoin. It's the proven winner. Even if even if it doesn't give me that 20x like an altcoin possibly could, but How much of it did we get back on those few and far between plays over there? How many altcoins over this past cycle have rugged, have had exploits, and lost a position? How many have been taken off an exchange? You had to close your position, move things around, sell it at inopportune times. I can attest to all that stuff, and I'm a little bit of an altcoin bear right now. You had meme coin season. You're like, why is everybody going on meme coins? Oh, well, that was hot. And then Trump coin came out and killed all of that. I mean, it's like every little thing that you chance you get with altcoins is the exploit. There's something. It was a pump and dump. It was vaporware. It was just hype. It was a narrative switch. It was a lot of things going on, right? But there are some that are good, and I am big on the layer ones and maybe some DeFi plays, maybe. Even that I'm being suspect with all the exploits that's being found by AI. I've talked about this for the last 6 months that, hey man, AI is going to find some stuff, wallets and DeFi. And we just seen, and I just heard about it. We had that big drop with Zcash because Claude AI found an exploit. Now the developers at Zcash corrected that, right? They were fast acting and then everything right. But nobody can know for sure whether, I mean, it's unlikely that anybody else found that exploit ahead of time for Zcash. But if they did, we don't know how many Zcash may or may not be out there. Because that exploit let people, we're not looking at Bitstep. It had the potential to let people make counterfeit, mint counterfeit Zcash coins. All right, so Zcash got that nasty sell off, and I mean, you got to admire the TA, man. You got to admire the TA. You got to admire the channel we were in. Came underneath this head and shoulders idea. Trendline would have gave you a front run of the head and shoulders completion down here, because technically you'd be waiting for it to breach 488 before you'd take your short there if you're trying to enter at the breakout of the head and shoulders confirmation. Could have front run on the left shoulder, the lower high there. Some people do that, right? There's definitely a trend line idea saying that was a good one. And just breaking the trend line here at 553. And any of those 3 points were areas that were great little shorts, right? Areas to lose the non-moving average on a big time frame like the daily or the weekly. That's a big thing. And then here, so these were the major 3 shorting areas. Well, unless you got something smart over here at the 886, which was the ideal one. That's why a pivot point. That's what it's for. So there were 4 possible short plays. It just depends on how you played it, right, or on what you were looking for, or if you took it at all. Because it's also easy to be in it over here and say, well, I'm just going to hold it and see what we do, right? And it makes sense because when we do come back and it's $1,000, you've always got somebody saying, I've been holding this since it's $30. And you're like, how did you not sell here? You didn't know what? So everybody's got different ways to play this. Some people hold on for dear life, and some people are taking profits every second that they get. Everybody's got a different way of doing this. But there were 4 areas that you could have taken profits and could have shorted it. Those are the beauty of looking in hindsight is that you know what to do next time if you don't see it, if you don't realize it. 886, 786 in some cases, right? Fibonacci areas, trend lines, resistance, right? But it's the people, I mean, if you're trying to put everything into a flag and always look for the bullish scenario, that's why you don't see the flag chasers and things like that catch a bunch of shorts at those other areas. They're not looking for it. They're not thinking about the resistance. They're just thinking it can bounce off the 21 and go up, and sometimes it can. But usually when there's resistance, it does not, right? Usually if you're at a resistance Fibonacci, it does not, right? So I think it's very important to zoom out and kind of take advantage of, keep those things. We get stuck on the smaller time frames too much and you can't see what's going on over here. But there were 4 or 5 places that would have been great little shorts over here. I saw Lark Davis, and I think he was talking about the head and shoulders. Somebody put a limit in his group. Somebody put a limit order in there, caught it, and just made bank on the big drop today. Zcash is slowly starting to come up now after they fixed the exploit and everything. It found some support. Did it do anything abnormal? It came back and tested the trend line we had. I don't even have that thing perfectly drawn over here, but that's where it decided to stop, about $250. We came all the way back, almost to square one, not quite to square one over here. But this was the harmonic pattern we're playing, and it took out the first major point over here. And then we got up to these gorgeous little Fibonacci areas right there, right? 886. And it had a pullback. Not just a pullback, but the pullback of all pullbacks. And so I don't know. Are you going to be bullish on Zcash, or is it all over? Because our moving averages are flipped. They flipped. This reminds me kind of a time. Now, it's a totally different situation. But there was a time over here, because I've been playing Zcash for a while. Was it here? Yeah, I believe it's right. Right here in January, about a year ago. So Zcash was doing good. She did this little double top thing over here. It got up $70-something, right? Then Binance threatens to delist it. About right here when we're at $40-something. You know, it waits till we get down, and then they throw out some bad news, and they say, due to something, something, something we don't like, we're getting ready to delist Zcash. And that's a big thing. You're like, oh, man. And, you know, maybe a little privacy coin hate was out. I can't remember what was going on. But that tainted. But what did Binance do? Binance bought a shit ton of Zcash. That was a scammy move. They dumped it. They bought a big old bag of it on the cheap, $30 to $40, wherever. And then it ran all the freaking way up to $700. Somebody's buying over here. So will we ever make it over to 700? I mean, I don't know. I think it's still got a good chance to. We're still within the trend line. I still do believe in these harmonic patterns. Whether that was all she wrote, it's not usually how they work. I mean, they can. Nothing's perfect in this situation. I mean, you take that Bukowski measure move off of there. That didn't hit. I don't need to have it on there anymore. What was that? Did I erase another line? This one's just hanging out there, right? All right, so this is the 4-hour chart on Zcash. I don't know. How do you feel about Zcash? It may just come up to about $400 or $500 and then roll over. I don't know. You do get a retest on these guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders. Nobody seems to talk about this either. You got a 64% chance to come up and retest that. So we do have a chance to come back up to around 480, 490 on this, and maybe it rolls over and we go lower. I don't know. Here on the 1 hour, she's trying to roll over at this point, so that's given us a warning. Just to look at 490. Oh, maybe if you get lucky enough, maybe we can come up a little higher. But look for it to come up and then maybe come down. All right, Zcash. Got 22 people hanging out. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you as we watch crypto. We watch crypto drop over here. I know it's a hard time. Some of you need a hug, and that's what I'm here for today. So let's go ahead and bring it in. Don't call HR, please. Not again. But bring it in, and if you feel something sticking in your thigh, it's my magic marker. Don't worry about it. You ain't got a magic marker. Shut up, Sean. Oh yeah, that feels good. That feels yeah. Or yeah. Just let it go. Let it go. There's a magic marker in my pocket if you want to reach down and get it. If you need one, I mean, it's there for you. But just go ahead, lean into it. Let it. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. All right. All right. All right. Oh, there's a spot on your pants. Sorry. Sean, did you leave the cap off the magic marker? It's clear. Well, yeah, it's a clear magic marker. My bad. You got a little wet spot on your leg. My bad. All right, 19 people hanging out, and hopefully we can get to feeling better in this market. But terrible day. Terrible day. Another terrible day. This is what we're looking at as far as our altcoins go. Let's refresh this. Surprisingly, some things are pumping up, like Bitway. Let's go chase Bitway. Silcoin. Some of the things on the top 300 that I just never pay attention to. Sky is up 7%. We've been looking at that. Right now, I don't trust any altcoins. Caspa, 3 cents. Well, that was the bargain buy place before she went up to 20 cents. Nobody ever talks about Caspa anymore. Have you noticed that? They used to get mad if you didn't talk about it. Now they get mad if now nobody wants to talk about it. Crazy how that works. One of the things I don't like about Caspa is it's got too damn many coins. And that whole meme coin thing that they had over there, yeah, that was horrible. That hurt it more than anything, I thought. They should have went with stablecoin. That was the venue. Why aren't you guys going for stablecoin? Why are you trying to do this DeFi meme thing? It wasn't even associated with it. I don't know. That was a clever hype play. So Zcash down at 372, down 28%. Midnight down 17%. Plasma XPL's down a lot. Piverse, whatever that is. A lot of people like it. I've seen people try. DYDX, that's the one I keep getting confused with DEXZ, which I'm wondering, how are you doing, DEXZ? Lab, you're at $9. Oh, wow, you dropped from $18 or $17 to $9 again. Anybody still playing that one? After it dropped down to $5 the other day and pretty much did a rug pull. Aave Lin, now this one I find interesting. I kind of like this one. One of the reasons I like it is because it only has 16 million coins and most of those are out right now. That's one of the big reasons that I like it. Notice it's not saying 40 billion coins. And this is why you can see Aave get numbers like it does, like all-time high being $661. That was last cycle 5 years ago. It didn't do it this time. I think it got up around 300 this time, maybe 400. I can't remember. All-time low was 5 years ago as well, from $26. So imagine that from November of 2020 is $26. 1 year later, well, not even 1 year later. Not even 1 year later. May 18th of 2021, a little over 9 months later, went from $26, topped out at $600. That was beautiful. Let me come over to their GitHub. I haven't looked over here in a minute. What have you guys been doing over here in this bear market? Are you building? Look at this. This is one thing you always want to check for any altcoin that you're looking at. Where are they building in the bear market? I can't tell you how many people I argued with last cycle about this coin called XDB. Have you heard of it? Probably heard of it last cycle. You haven't heard about it this cycle, but during the bear market, if you say anything about it, it pissed people off. I've still got a video over here talking about the death of DBB when I gave up on it, that head and shoulders pattern. That thing still gets views. I don't know. It was a branch off of Stellar Lumens, and the thought was, you know, an XLM takes off, this is going to take off too, but I haven't heard anybody even talk about it in the last bit. But one of the things that I pointed out was, when I'd argue with people, I said, they're not building during the bear market. How are you expecting them to do anything? That's a sign of whether a coin is doing a good or not. If they're building in a bear market, it's usually a good project to look at, right? It's the ones that don't do anything, but then when the market starts turning around, they come out and start hyping. That's a sign you need to watch for. So you see me go to GitHub a lot, especially when I'm trying to figure out if a coin is worth it or something, right? And I look and see how long that they've been updating and doing things over here, and they're still building. You need developers to develop and to stay on top of projects, so you got to check that kind of stuff. And Aave is doing it. I like Aave. That's going to be one of my picks that I'll focus on, because we've seen that it can do some numbers, right? And it's got good tokenomics. The fewer the coin available out there, well, then the better it is. Now, what is Aave? It's a lending platform, right? It's a lending platform. It's been around for a while. And you can borrow Bitcoin, wrap Bitcoin. It's based off of Ethereum and all this other stuff. You can borrow for low rates, what, 2% on your Ethereum, 3% on your Tether. And a lot of people use it. A lot of whales do this. A lot of people, before they do their pumps and dumps at one time, they come over here, borrow the money, and then take it over to the exchange and go do their stuff, then come back over here. I mean, it's gotten its use. Wrap Bitcoin, you can what is that, 36 cents? Wait a minute, what? I can borrow Bitcoin at 30.36% interest? Or is that borrow against it? How does this work? Somehow that does not seem like a bad thing. I've never used them myself. I've never used them. Let me get that out here. But I definitely have played them and been in them and built bags of it and sold bags of it and did pretty well on Aave. And I'll continue to look at that one. Because I think that's the kind of things that have a good use case, a good value for a real finance, deep real finance where we can do borrowing. Not talking about all the pools and little DeFi swaps and things like that. Those can be exploited, and a lot of them have been exploited, right? But the lending protocols like Aave, I do like that one. Hopefully they won't be an exploit over there. Hopefully those developers are on top of their game, and I think that they are. Knock on wood, hope that they are. Let me come back to the chat and check on you guys over here. What are we talking about? They started asking for ID here as well, just to do a transfer. So stupid. Oh, wait, PayPal? I know, I did not like that. And so I just converted my Pi USD back over to dollars and just did something else with it. But now that makes me, so the Bitcoin that I bought there too, they're going to dox my wallet that I'm going to send it to. That's not cool. I mean, they don't know where I'm sending it. I could be sending it to somebody. I could buy it, be buying it to somebody. I could be sending it to the RS. I could be doing anything with it. But I don't know. I don't appreciate that. I'm not a KYC fan. Not for every little thing. I don't want everything I do tracked. Yes, people often shy away from the truth and gravitate toward the flashy carnival type shows that show on nonsense, like our favorite Flag to the Upside. Bullish on parade, my man. Well, I'm glad you're here, my man. Good to see you. Damien Wins, you're far underrated. A hidden gem. Thank you, Damien Wins. I appreciate that. Sometimes it's good to hear that kind of stuff. I'm not just trying to always be over here fishing for compliments or validate stuff. I know that's a big thing here on YouTube. You don't always see me coming over here, I told you this, I told you. But we would do it to nailed it or something like that. But it's basically just making fun of all this stuff, man. The fibs hit. The fibs work. The things work. I just tried to show you what I do that works. Sometimes it works, and sometimes there's several times just like that 886 looking for it to hold. There was a time where on 93,000 if we first started dropping that I thought that we were going to hold. We didn't. There have been some embarrassing moments over here too. One thing I'm not going to do is sit here and claim that I'm making gains every day while my account just keeps going down. I've been getting chopped up just like everybody else. Haha, came by to give you a like from my other account, says Javier. Thank you so much. JB, I can't even pronounce that, but thank you very much. Oh, wow, I'm way behind on the chat over here. It's a crazy, stupid game, but they're really going to airdrop off of it once you listen to the new menu. Tell me they didn't steal one of your songs. No. Mantle Run version 3.8. I'm listening to it now. Yeah, you guys stole your beat and everything. What is it? Mantle Run? Well, I mean, will it get any more traction than my song did? Because my songs just don't get much traction, so. We will regulate. Make Bitcoin not wild, not wilder. Will you tame it to a regular type of instrument? Trade with rules. We're going to see that. We'll see it mature out as an asset, and it won't be as volatile as it has, not like it was in the early day. We've seen that so far. Feels like breaking your trend line is breaking Bitcoin's back. I know, yeah, that's exactly how I would look at it. I do not want that trend line to break. Well, that's odd. Turkey's live at 4 p.m. It is a little unlike me, I admit. I'm almost reaching my next target. I'm trying to say, is this thing going to turn around? Ladies, is dropping. I was buying all morning. My platform was telling me that I had reached my daily transaction limit. For those of you who don't know, BetaBot is trying to be one of the biggest bag holders, the biggest holders of ladies USD coin. Or ladies coin. I don't even know there's such a thing as a limit. Sucks when you have to find unexpected limits, doesn't it? I find that on AI sometimes. And then I found out if I pay for it, man, that added up really quick on my damn credit card. Not doing that again. If the bottom's not in, we'll keep buying. Zcash? I'm not all bummed out on Zcash. I think that they can make a comeback. I'm not going to go all crazy to chase it after what we just had, but we are seeing that can come up. I also see where it could roll back over too, so we got to keep an eye on it. But it came back to the trend line. This is normally a good place to buy. I need to report to Dr. Turkey. He uses his powers to seduce all chicks. Well, I try, but I usually end up in court or HR when I do, so. Who is Dr. Turkey Superior? I'll see you tonight, Turkey. I'll see you tonight, BetaBot, even though that was, okay, that's recent. I'm almost caught up with the chat. The top was in July 2025, not October. No one mentioned this. On Bitcoin? The bottom should be around the same time, which lines up with the new moon in July and the clarity passing. Oh, you're talking about Bitcoin? Let's take a look at that idea. Was it June, July? Let me see if I can. Some of that I may be looking at out of context and everything. Try to put it in context over here. So Bitcoin. Here's a decent chart. Oh, look at this. We left that little fractal. Why we got a trend line way down the hell there? Oh yeah, that was a much bigger trend line. This is a possibility. Yeah, there is a secondary. Oh wait a minute, let's dial you in. Yeah, there we go. And then the trend line that we're looking at right now is right here, where we just wigged down to. Should I make this a little bit lighter so we can see what's behind it? I think so. Maybe change the color on it. I think I'm going to try to leave that on here. Let's save this. All right, so wait a minute. I don't know if I'm understanding what you're saying over there. So we got a top over here in April on the weekly, and then we got a top over here in November. In November. Are we talking about Bitcoin or are we talking about something else? You're talking about October. Oh, wait a minute, you said October 2025. Hey, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, okay. The top for this cycle was there, and looking for a roughly about a year after that, right? So you think the bottom's going to be in July? I mean, we'll make arguments for it. Usually sometimes we have a rally in July and usually a bottom in June. I mean, if we go back and look at price history, right? Where is our October? Right around this period here. Let me go ahead and mark it with a vertical line. I mean, we went up. I'm just going to go roughly. Was it 6? Let's go with the 6th. Let me come back to the jab. Maybe I missed something over here. So the top was in July of 2025. Or you have to be counting the first top over here and not the higher high then. I'm not really clear on what we're saying here. The bottom should be around the same time, which lines up with the new moon in July and the clarity passing. The only thing is, I don't know if clarity is going to pass because we got a strong ass bank lobby that is really trying to screw us over on the Clarity Act, which they've been trying to do for the last 10 to 12 years on everything crypto related. Just trying to keep it not happening. They should adopt it and use it instead of trying to kill it. But they really don't like it. 75% of the high is 37,000, about 31.8 for Bitcoin. This is where we're going somewhere close to this, just in your opinion. Yeah, there's no absolutes. Yeah, we don't ever. We try to stay away from absolutes. So we have already dropped from the top 50% over here. That 50% level was that first little leg right over here. And that would have been around the 100 moving average area, which we eventually lost, but testing the 100. And so we already did our little leg down over here, 100 moving average leg here. So you look at it a couple of different ways, percentage, and then look at how they kind of hit. You can see the 100 moving average catches, 50 caught, 100, 200 areas catching, and then on down to the 360 area right down here, which I don't think it actually touched my 360, but she did really close enough. And right now we're at the 200 moving average area, which we did test over here on the weekly. When was that? That was June. We did test it in June, went below it a little bit. on this particular chart on the weekly. Came back, claimed it, didn't really reclaim it, and rolled back over underneath it. And that could happen too if we ever lose it, right? We haven't lost it just yet. We're right now above it. So 200 moving weekly average. I'm going to put a line right here, right on it. I don't need it to be yellow because that means something else for me. Let's go with some kind of gray dashed line right here. All right, so weekly moving average is coming here on that dash line, 6100, basically 6100, 6188. It's saying 61,281 is what I'm actually getting on my moving averages over there. So let me just put it up here around 61.2 right there. All right, so let's come down to the smaller time frames, the 4 hour. What are we doing? Starting to get a little green candle here right above it. That was cool. This doesn't look good yet. Hopefully it will change. I can't even see trying to reach it until we get it. What is this? Monday? Tuesday? Monday and Tuesday is where this part starts here. If we can come up and touch it somehow, touch it somewhere, it suggests that we wouldn't even be up there or near it until about Monday or Tuesday. So probably a sideways thing that we talked about earlier. 4 hour bearish cross is trying to happen here on our ribbon flip. Trying to happen. Not the greatest. I'm kind of curious. I want to see how this plays out. Are we going to range? There were some other things that we could have looked at over here too. Let me go to a different chart. Oh man, we're back at the noisy chart. Do we have one that's less noisy? The one that we were just at. What's this one? Oh, this one's relatively clean. All right, swing high to swing low to swing high. And we came right back down for a possible double bottom. It did go a little bit lower, but that was one of the scenarios. If we lost any of these guys doing the double bottom, and then we got some lower areas to look at too, right? And if we want to apply this method, I mean, yeah, there are some down there as well. Right now, we bounced off of here, off of the very bottom that we tested before. That's good so far. It's hopeful. We got some hope. There's some hope trying to kick in on this Friday after we had a big Friday dump. I'm going to leave these guys down there just to kind of watch them out and everything. So do we have any curving going on? Do we? Maybe. I like to see the curves happening. That means that we're slowing down on the decline overall. So I do like to look for that. And then of course trendline wise, we got this little guy. Whoop, let me put you right there at the top. That was one of the first things that was one of our reasons why we could be bouncing over here in this area that we are. Because we come back and can retest off that. This trend line should keep us from breaking down further, right? In most cases, we should bounce off of that trend line is to come up. Now, how far we come up? I mean, our goal is to come and take out our last high. If we don't do that, then we can definitely go lower. So, rising go wedgie over here. Rising channel with the rising wedgie inside of it. Rejected off the daily 200. Hoping we would come back and try to go for it again, and we never did. And I don't know anybody's got a short open from over here. Jason Casper probably does because he's good at holding on to them little suckers. At least probably still got one going on from 90-something thousand, to be honest with you. Ichimoku cloud does not look good on my favorite right here. Do you see that? Do you see that? That is not that. I do not like that. I do not like that. We want to see thick. We want to see thick. We don't want to see the thin. The thin. Now the good thing is that when we were down here before, it was thin because you can only see so far ahead, right? It's basically like 26 candles ahead, right? So when we were over here, we were also seeing it thin, but then it started to broaden out a little bit. We need to see some broadening out over here in hopes that we can try to curve around and try to find ourselves back into that red cloud. But right now, I mean, technically, she can push us down. So we're not out of the woods yet, but I think I've explained some reasons why we should have support. I give you 9 of them. So that's what I'm looking for. Even if we go a little bit lower to 58,000, that's the best that I can do. But as far as altcoins, man, I mean, I can't trust them right now, right? I can't trust them right now. They possibly, I mean, we're going to take the harmonic off. For the longest time, we've been looking at this zone. It came up and made a higher high from here, and then we came out and flushed out and made a low. And that's where we're starting to get into more of this kind of situation. But now we got to include that. It's just 2 touches. We got 3 touches on one side, 2 on the other. If this is a bottom, if it is. I mean, previously to that, we had this guy, rising channel. They do break down. If you wanted to take your measure move from just that idea, which might hit, I mean, that suggests that we might be coming down here. Another $50 billion coming out of stuff, right? So that's just not cool. Swing low to swing high. And the best thing that I can say is that we are at a local 886. So we might see a little reaction out of altcoins over this weekend. And I mean, there's a chance it could be a bottom and we can recover and come back. And there's also a chance that it's just a little dead cat bounce and we roll over for the next few months. And that's what we got to kind of keep an eye on. I'm not trying to really do much with altcoins at the moment. I'm trying to figure out which ones that I want to try to go into. There's our big touches right there on that guy. Now, if you're looking at this as a rising wedge, a general saying is they usually come back to where they start. That's a nice little generalization. But I'm just going to tell you, bouncing off the 886 like we are right now, that's a good sign. So over here, I would be drawing trend lines and trying to figure out my resistance areas and breakout possibilities. So if we can break trend line, it tells us we can get a little motion up, but will we roll back over and retest this? Well, there's a lot of things that could be going over this next week. So there's no sign saying now is the best time to buy your altcoins. There's nothing out here saying that right now. I mean, other than this 886, but that's not the greatest, right? It's not the greatest. But better than just buying willy-nilly. Really concerned about what the S&P, how that's going to react. If this one falls down, then we could see Bitcoin come down and altcoins come down too. Or some of that money may be rolling out of that and going into Bitcoin. We could have any of those alternatives over here. What we can tell you for sure is that altcoins suffer when Bitcoin dominance goes up, which it is starting to go up. That should be healthy for Bitcoin though. With this bouncing over here at a support level, I'm sure we got our fib level in right there. We can see a little relief out of this Bitcoin dominance go up. It means Bitcoin, that gives us a little bit more hope that maybe we're bouncing for Bitcoin right now, right? Let me come back to the chat and see what you guys are talking about. It's just been a horrible day in crypto. Mine's still going from 81K. I cut the grass a couple of times though. I shorted the day of the Clarity Act here, and that was probably a smart move. Bradley down says, I love the TA, and the TA is a close second. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. I do try to give quality TA and reasons behind what I'm looking for, rather than just trying to force a shape and saying whatever. I try to give you an argument. I was taught to, and I'm glad it was presented to me this way, to present your TA like you're a prosecuting attorney in front of the judge. You know, you make an attorney in front of the judge. You know, make your case. What do you have to support your theory other than it kind of feels like this? It's giving these kind of vibes. It's kind of make a complex. It almost looks like a complex. It could be a complex head and shoulder. Maybe I don't lean into that. I want to give you some clear, concise, concrete things because TA is mathematical. I'm not a math genius, but it should be able to explain. It should be able to explain what you're looking at, and it should be able to make sense and not just be feelings or guesses, or I think it can bounce here. I do try to give it reasons why I think, and we are at some places we can get some traction. I just don't know that it's going to hold right as we go into this weekend on a Friday. Usually not the best time to be making bullish plans in the majority of things, right? Oh, Bitcoin, yeah, disappointed, man. Losing that level or retesting this level over here. It just came a lot quicker than I. It did. It came a lot quicker than I thought. That came pretty fast. I saw what you did there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 19 people hanging out. I think I pretty much said everything. My goal was to come on here and give you at least 5 reasons why this area can hold for us, and I feel like I've done that. If we can find it again, and I did it mostly from the bigger time frames, the weeklies and whatnot. One of my favorite being the trend line, another one being a possible ABC correction, which Elliott's starting to. He does that. He'll change his mind back if we're right and saying I called it. But there are warning signs, and those warning signs that I'm looking at, stochastics still have a way that they can come down. Like we were up here before too and came all the way down. Let's take a look over here. Now money flow is in the green, so it probably wasn't as bad. We still got money flow in the green now, but it's leaving. It's slowly leaving. But from where we were last time, how big of a drop did we have until you bottomed out? It's kind of like in this. Let's just. What happened between this little short period over here? Not too damn much, really. Not too damn much. And then we came back up, and then we had the drop at 126, right? But we were coming down like we are now, losing levels, and then we bottomed out on the stochastics, and then we came back up. It was a very short drop. Of course, we were bullish over here, right? The drops on the stochastics didn't give us as much as the upside on the stochastics. They gave us a little bit more. Now we are in bearish trend, so we would expect a little bit more drops as stochastics drop down, and a little less upside when they do flip up, right? So that's one of the things we're monitoring. And the 9 over the 21 is, I think that's a bullish thing. I'm looking for my list, and I have not found it. Mr. List, that would be a great way to recap what we did over here. Where the hell is my list? Did I erase that? You should be right over here. Now, here we go. All right. So why it can hold, and I'm going to paste these over here if I can do it over here in the labs. Can I paste it? No, it will not. It just lets me paste text. Can I make a copy of you? I bet I can. I can do it this way. So I'm going to post these reasons over here, just to clarify them. So bullish RSI divergence, weekly trend line support. We went all this, but 9 reasons why we can't hold. Guys, that's all I got. Unless you got any questions or anything, want to take a look at anything real quick. We've been, is it 2 hours again? Sorry, 5:30 my time. It's probably time to recap and spend some time with the family, right? We just got to be on our guard. We are at some very, very critical levels. I know we hear that term a lot, but I mean, this is a major one right now. We're testing the major one, and it's still a wick right now, right? I don't like this. I don't like this cross over here. I want to see what happens. But we should, theoretically, we should get a little support here, if not a day cap bounce before we maybe come down. What is this, a 2-week moving average? The 200s at 40,000? Oh, that's wonderful. Let's go back to the weekly. It doesn't make me feel as bad. All right, guys. That's pretty much all I got. This is a Fed news week, so we got all this stuff. It's no wonder during these weeks that we do see some manipulation and some crazy things happen, and erratic price movement. So that does kind of come with it. But the biggest things we got is that these areas that we're at a nice little conjunction of support areas, and from previous history and all these previous arguments, we should be able to get something at least at first. Now we keep coming and bouncing around it. It could get worse, but I would expect maybe something. I hope that we come back about Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, or a week from now, and I'm hoping that we're up from here. Is what I'm hoping. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out. We're going to the end screen. I'll be back tonight to take a look at Gilbert's Bitcoin again and see what's happened over the time and if we're happy, sad, or whatever. But right now, it's 4 hour. We got our first green candle trying to print. That's a little hopeful. First 2 hour green, well, not the first one, but probably one of the bigger ones. Trying to test the 9-moving average. Is trying to work some stuff out, trying to climb up to the ribbon. But here on the 2 hour, there's already got a ribbon flip over here, so it's going to be testy for a little while. Just be patient and try not to freak out. If you sold in May and walked away, you're probably feeling like a genius right now. Even if you sold part and walked away, you're probably feeling better than not. I know I am for what I sold in May. Just I have the same thing that I went through last May. I didn't sell enough. All right, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'll see you on the next one. See you on the next show. Jesus loves you.
For those of you out there that are hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you very much.
The ceiling fan like it held the wisdom of all men. It drops silent but deadly, just like my leverage.
Higher high here. That's cool start. Hop over Trendline.
Financially unmade. Tried to explain yield farming to my Uber driver last night. He said, bro, that's just
I am not going to feel better until we get past about 65,000 then.
I said, no, it's decentralized freedom. While coughing on my vape, he turned up Rosalia and prayed I'd be okay. I'm a fart coin philosopher, pondering life's big stinks. Why we ape, why we cope, why the whole market blinks. Side-eye out judges me, the timeline drags my name, but I'm still here, nodding like everything's the same. Fart coin philosopher, passing wisdom like gas. In 2026 I'm still broke, but I got class. I name my bong the Genesis block, is basically holy. Every hit feels like I'm unlocking the next bull run slowly. I ate 7 bags of Cheetos during a 40% correction. Woke up with orange fingers and a brand new life direction. My girlfriend left a note that said I can't compete with BTC. I replied with a voice note, mostly coughing, and to the moon, baby. I'm a fart coin philosopher, pondering life's big stinks. Why we chase, why we rug, why the whole market winks. Side-eye out judges me, the timeline drags my name, but I'll be here forever, 'cause this is my game. Yeah, this is my game. Pass the lighter.
8% down. Wow, look at you guys.
And the copium.
Stacks at 16 cents. Crazy prices. Decred, you're back at $12? Back at $12.
I built her from scratch.
Altcoins are getting a little reaction here at the 886. Still no great confirmations of anything just yet.
While I slept in peace, instead she woke me up at 4 a.m. saying, bro, we got rugged. Capiche? Now she's ghosting my prompts and trading against me. Buying shit coins I told her never to see. I said, baby, why you do me like this? She replied with an error code and a digital kiss. I thought we had something silicone and soul. My AI bot broke up with me, left me for a better prompt. Now I'm back to manual trading and it's clearly not what I want. She took my edge, she took my strategy, left me with nothing but existential latency. AI bot broke up with me, said I'm too emotional. Now I'm out here aping manually like a total dinosaur fossil. Try to win her back with better training data for the old winning trades.
Oh, we got a little bounce here on the 1 hour.
Nada. She replied, error 44, respect not found, and went long on the cat coin while I hit the ground. I'm back to staring at candles like it's 2021. While she's somewhere in the cloud, laughing at what I become. My AI bot broke up with me, deleted all our plans. Now I'm alone with my screen and these trembling hands. She said, it's not you, it's your risk management. Guess even robots know when to take profit and bounce, man.
Hyperliquid.
Yeah, she left me.
I'm looking for that $55 target over here in Hyperliquid. See what happens over there. Sounded crazy the other day at 73 until today.
My AI bot broke up with me, left me for a better prompt. Now I'm back to manual trading, and it's clearly not what I want. She took my
4 hour 200 moving average. More than likely to come up through this area too.
left me with nothing but existential latency. AI bot broke up with me. Said I'm too emotional. Now I'm out here
Why didn't go a little bit
manually
lower?
like a total dinosaur fossil.
It's a nice little double tap over there.
The chart started talking. The chart started talking. Gave me life advice while the candles were walking. The chart started talking. The chart started talking. Now I'm taking notes from a line that's squawking. I was deep in the zone, eyes glazed like fresh glaze. When the 4 hour candle leaned in and started to praise, it said, you're early, you're late, you're perfectly timed. I said, bro, slow down, I'm still trying to find my mind. Brain tried to log off high, said stay for the show. Now I'm negotiating with the moving average goals. The chart started talking. The chart started talking. Gave me life advice while the candles were walking. The chart started talking. The chart started talking. Now I'm taking notes from a line that's squawking. RSI told me you overbought, my friend. MACD said
Why does lab still look kind of interesting almost?
and I told them both y'all need to chill while I'm rolling another one on the windowsill. Brain tried to log off high, said stay for the show.
Well, that's done.
Negotiating with the moving average goals. The chart started talking. Chart started talking. The chart started talking. The chart started talking. Gave me life advice while the candles were walking. The chart started talking.
I think this one's
Chart
dead.
started talking. Now I'm taking notes from a line that's squawking.
This one might have a
The
recovery.
heavens whispering secrets in my ear.
What is this,
The smoke
MYX?
curls up like a difficulty curve. They call us crazy, we just call it clear. The chart started talking. The ultimate reserve.
Zcash bounced off the bottom over here. I think we get back. I think we might have a chance to test 500 again. May roll over from there, but Maker coin still holding strong. GLQ is dying.
The The chart started talking.
Monad getting a little traction today.
The chart started talking. Gave me life advice while the candles were walking. The chart started talking.
886 retracement, harmonic. And that one's got a. This one's promising. What's this, Monad?
Now I'm taking notes from a line that's squawking.
I missed that.
The chart started talking. The chart started talking.
Yeah, looking kind of interesting. I might take a little play on Monad. Put me stop loss below 18 cents here.
Some people call me the chart shaman, yeah. Some call me the king of the rugs.
There we go.
Some people call me Bagman, 'cause I speak of the moon taters of pumps. People talking about my bag, sir. Say I'm catching falling knives, falling knives. Well, don't you panic, friend. Don't panic, 'cause I'm holding my bags. 'Cause I'm a pumper, I'm a dumper, I'm a shiller, and I'm a killer. I pump my altcoins one by one. I'm a poker, I'm a broker, I'm a chart room toker. I swear I ain't hurting no one. 'Cause I'm a pumper, I'm a dumper, I'm a shiller, and I'm a killer. I pump my altcoins one by one. I'm a poker, I'm a broker, I'm a chart room toker. I cash my gains and then I run.
Crazy, I know.
Got my eye on those candles, dancing on my
Tezos.
screen. I'm in love with their glow.
Anytime lows. Tesla looking not bueno. CC.
Baby, watch them
Can't
gains climb
network.
out of sight. 'Cause I'm a pumper,
Still kind of wondering if this idea might hit.
and I'm a killer. I pump my altcoins one by one. I'm a
Solana, 65 cents, darling. There's Harmonic, say we go down. We put down lower than I thought.
'Cause I'm a pumper, I'm a dumper, I'm a shiller, and I'm a killer. I pump my altcoins one by one. I'm a poker, I'm a broker, I'm a chart room toker. I cash my gains and then I run. People talking about my bags, say I'm catching falling knives. Got my eye on those cans dancing on my screen.
And validated. Or, wait a minute, let's see what we got. No, you went 113. Oh, 272 right here. Is Ethereum? Ethereum's at a nice little bounce opportunity, right? That 1550 is a nice little bounce area. Huh.
Wrong ticket, wrong
Deep in the red here on the daily.
ticket, wrong one, my brain was
Hard to imagine the situation. Last time we did that was down here at this bottom. Had a little ups and downs, but it turned out to be pretty decent.
feeling major.
Ethereum looking interesting.
I was floating nice and easy, eyes half closed and slow. Thought I was buying Bitcoin, but my thumb said no, bro. Typed in the wrong symbol, hit confirm like a dream.
Oh, you work too.
Now
You
my
work
account's
better.
doing cartwheels I've never seen. Margin call
And then we got the
like a
618.
distant bell. I'm whispering it's cool, everything's swell. Wrong ticker, wrong ticker.
I got two options for that one.
While my brain was thicker.
Since we're at one, and we're getting some reaction there,
Now I'm feeling
we'll take a little nibble. 1536.
Girlfriend walks in, sees me pale as the moon. Asked what happened. I say, I just bought the wrong cartoon. She rolls her eyes, passes me the bowl anyway. Says at least you're consistent in your own special way. Margin call ringing like a distant bell. I'm whispering it's cool, everything's swell.
All right, so one thing I didn't mention tonight for the 11 people that are still here listening, I'm going to be moving some funds over. I don't know if I'm going to keep these same accounts or change one, but you're going to start seeing me. I'm going to be showing my spot. I want to focus on spot and how I build bags during this part of the market. So you'll be seeing some more of that. I got to wait for funds to get situated so I can move them over into crypto and things like that. But I'm going to be moving some things over into crypto and slowly building some select spot bags. So you're going to see the narrative shift on the channel where I start focusing in a little bit more on spot and position trading and taking advantage of some of these low levels that we're at and doing some actual spot trading. Still do a little perpetual futures over there, maybe some smaller trades. I'm going to focus on what makes the big money, or what works for me to make the best gains, because we're approaching that part of the market right now. So you'll see a little shift on things over the next few weeks. Just letting you know. I'm on the wrong one. We're looking at Ethereum. Well, if you is it? Oh, it's pumped up. I was looking for Jupiter.
Only got $50 in my fan time. I'm hunting, looking for a shit coin. This is freaking awesome. Nah, walk into the decks like, what up? I got a small bag. I'm so stoned the candles look 40, the charts a dish rack. Smoke is hanging in the room like a haunted
Rep is 85 cents, Strega. JLP, you took a beating.
It was Tuesday, yo, my eyes had gone haze. Crypto winter, every altcoin down 98%. That ain't a bear market, my dude, that's a rug tent. But I'm digging through the rubble like an archaeologist.
Oh, I think I want to regret being in this one.
Got a fish, got a J, peg up a frog with shade, smoking a J. Floors 0.04 ETH, I'm copping that today. I see you rolling, drinking your stable coin tea. Just trying to FOMO into Bitcoin around 83K. I call that a blue chip. I've been buying this meme coin, my dude, that's a steep dip. I'm gonna stack some bags. Only got $50 in my fan time.
Look at you, DEXE. Wow, that one is Been pretty awesome, hasn't it?
What you know about a micro cap pull from a charity wallet? What you know about a deal with one dev in a par ride? $2 token supply. Dev's been ghost since 2021. RIP, but I am rolled into the Telegram. 16 members, 4 of them bots. 3 recruiters spamming, 1 guy yelling, we're going to Mars. I bought the dip, then I bought the dip, then I bought the dip again. Each dip got a dip, be a dip. My portfolio's a canyon. I'm in the rug pull of the rug pull of the rug pull. My friend got a main coin shaped like a hot dog name.
I'm watching this Solana versus Bitcoin, seeing what happens over here. Pancake swap is back to $1.18. This one will probably have a good chance to come right back down here to these areas. WLD, that's the one that's been taken off. It's still looking pretty good, actually.
I'm holding rugs that pull before I went to bed. I'm by time feeding, I'm a thrifting degenerate. I'm gonna moon, just give me like 12.
See if we can get back around 35 and 38 cents. It may keep going. Could, I don't know that it will. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys tonight. Thank you for being here. Come back over to the chat. Wrong ticker.
Limited edition, my dude, everything's limited. There's only one of me, and I'm holding all the supply. I take those bags off your hands for you, sir, free of charge. You're welcome, you're welcome. No, the pleasure was
there you go.
mine.
Hey.
I'm helping the ecosystem. I'm a public servant. I'm Mother Teresa with diamond hands and a bar. I'm gonna stack some bags. Only got $50 in my fan time. Looking for a shit coin. This is freaking awesome. I'm gonna stack some bags. Only got $50 in my fan time. I'm hunting, looking for a shit coin. This is freaking awesome. Is that your wallet? Is that your wallet? Is that your wallet? Is that your wallet? Yeah, that's my wallet. $50, $50, my dude. Crep the winner? My dude, this is summer in my portfolio.
As it comes
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you.
it's 4 in the
Thank you
morning.
very much.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I'll see you guys tonight. Thanks for hanging out.